My name's Charles Calamiris, and I'm pleased to be here today. This conference is a joint effort, I want to explain it a little bit, between the Manhattan Institute and Columbia University's program on financial studies, which I head. And I think it's interesting to, while people are getting settled in, just give you a 2-minute introduction to explain a little bit about what we're doing here and how it happened. Because I think we also learned something about the policy-making process from that story. I guess it was about a year ago that Howard Cusick at the Manhattan Institute and a few other people at the Manhattan Institute approached me to put together a major initiative on evaluating financial regulation. And my reaction immediately was, well, that's a very good idea, let's do it. And the way we should do it is first bring together a small group of academics and some people from the policy world of the Manhattan Institute to sit down and talk about what the project should be about. And I picked, as I recall at least, Bob DeYoung, Alan Berger, Viral Acharya to join me. And the reason that that was so important was that it's actually a necessary part of the conversation for the academic world and the policy world to decide what is possible to do before you can actually get things funded. And so I had the same experience actually with the Manhattan Institute board members when I presented some of the findings to them just a couple of days ago. And that is that the way people in the policy world are approaching something is with a particular set of questions to which they want answers. Sometimes those questions are extremely broad. How much GDP loss have we had because of the financial regulations that we've had? Now, that is not a question that can be answered very easily. I would say it's almost impossible to answer that to satisfy a referee at a major journal. And our goal was exactly to satisfy referees at a major journal. And in fact, these papers will appear in a special issue of the Journal of Financial Intermediation. Why? Because you get the best academics only to write papers that are going to be respectable pieces of research in making progress as they define it and as their peers define it. And so that's a necessary criterion, but it's also a good criterion because it means that we elevate the debate. But you can't elevate the debate unless you're willing to take things one piece at a time. Because the way that identification in academic research works is one piece at a time. It's very hard, I would say impossible, to write a convincing academic paper that tells you how much has the regulation since the Card Act, the Dodd-Frank Act, et cetera, affected GDP. I don't know how I would do that. I don't think it's really possible to do it in a way that would be convincing. And that's something that really is difficult. So after we convinced the Manhattan Institute allies that this was the right approach to an agglomeration of studies that look at things one piece at a time and focus on what can be identified convincingly, then we had to get the Smith-Richardson Foundation on board, and we did. But it was exactly the same conversation. How do you know, what's the big picture? What's the big takeaway? And so I thought I would share that with you because I think it's one of the reasons that this is such a unique effort. This is the only effort of its kind that I know of so far that's occurred. And I think the reason is because the people in the policy world or the foundation world want to see answers to big questions, and the people in the academic world are comfortable answering big questions through an agglomeration of evidence of looking at smaller, digestible questions that they can really get at. And so that's what we're doing today. However, I will put on my other hat as a little bit as an advocate of policy at lunchtime to talk for about 15 or 20 minutes about the broader issues and my way of trying to map between those two worlds. All I want to do in the remainder of this time is thank people. I want to thank the Manhattan Institute for their help institutionally, the Smith-Richardson Foundation. I also want to thank several members in the staff. Dean Ball, who's here, thank you very much. He's played an integral role in this. And also the conference staff of the MI, who always do such a great job setting up conferences here. And also Nicole Galinas, who wrote a very nice summary of the papers, which you can see on the Manhattan Institute website as well. So without any further ado, what I want to do now is turn the floor over to our first speaker. The speakers will have 20 minutes, We'll do them all together in a row, so 3 20-minute presentations, and then we'll I will then manage the Q&A.